next portion of Project 6, we're going to create a report. And this is kind of a lengthy process, but I'm going to go through it in the steps that go along in the book, just so if anything happens, any problems arise, you can watch this to see where the problems may occur. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Create, and I'm going to create a report using Report Design. So I'm looking around page 344. Figure 611, and on this here, what I want to do is on the record source. If you don't have the property sheet open, under the Design tab, click on Property Sheet, and where it says Record Source, you need to select the make sure I do that correctly. Click on the drop-down menu, and you want to select the book rep and customer query. If you're not sure because of size here, I'm going to click on the top one, and if you click on the build beside it, it'll actually show you book rep and customer. So the second one down is the one that worked for me. If again, what I did is I clicked on that and selected. I guess you can widen this too if you need to. So yeah, you can widen that if need be. So make sure you get the correct record source, which in essence is pulling the fields and the data from that source, from that query for this report. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need to go under the Design tab and click on Group and Sort, and we're going to create a group. The group we're going to create is we're going to create a group called Book Rep Number. And we're going to add a sort, and the sort will be customer number. Okay, so after you have those items done, I'm actually going to close this, and I'm going to save this report now, just to have it saved with the correct name. I'm calling it Book Rep Master List. And this will be placed down in my report region. I can open it and look at it. Right now there's nothing there. So I want to open it back up in Design View. And this is where we're going to now do the bulk of the work. On page 346, toward the bottom of the page, I'm going to start figure 6-16. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start setting up the report to look like it does on 616, 617, 618, and add some fields. To do this, I'm going to close my property sheet, and I'm going to open up, I'm still under the Design tab, click on Add Existing Fields, and this will show all of the fields from the correct query. If you had the wrong query early on, you'll notice it right now. So what I would suggest is closing and starting over. Again, sometimes it's easier just to start over than to go back and try to fix certain things. So what I'm going to do here is up in the header section, give a little bit of room here. I'm going to add the book rep number. Just going to drag that over into here. And then I'm going to continue doing this. This process can be a little time consuming, but I'm going to do it relatively quickly. I'm going to pull in the customer number. And again, I'm setting this up like figure 618. Customer name. And notice how I'm doing this. I'm not setting this up perfectly because I'm going to clean it up here in a minute. This kind of goes along with the previous project that involved organizing. I think we did this with a form earlier, but it's the same type of operation. You're going to set it up with your fields. The label is on the left, and then the data will be presented in the right. And these items function like they did in our form we created. So we're going to clean these up here in just a minute. I just want to get these configured in a certain way. Over on the right, we have customer type. Resources needed. Amount paid and current due. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some skills we used before. I'm going to highlight the labels on the left. I'm going to use my Arrange tab, and I'm going to align these to the left. We'll do the same here and align these to the left. And again, it does not have to be perfect, but you know, take a little bit of care and organization to get it looking as best as you can. Again, just as a reminder, if you need to move these independently, grab onto the gray square and you can move these independently. May be required depending on how you brought your items over. So let's see, I'm going to move these over a little bit, get them lined up. And what you may want to do is use some of your alignment items, like for example, I want to highlight all of these, if I got them all or not, and go to spacing, equal vertically. You know, you can spend quite a bit of time doing this. Just for time reasons, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but make it look as nice and neat as you possibly can. And we're going to do some other things to add to this here in a minute. So I want to get those set up in that manner. I'm going to save this. And I'm one I like to look at this and see how it looks as we're going. So far, not too bad. You can scroll down to see all of the fields are represented. We're going to clean this up and make it look much better as we get going on. So I'm going to open this back up in Design View and do a few more items here. What I'm going to do next is up here in the header where it says BR number, I'm going to actually change that to say book rep number. And again, if you need to move one of these, grab hold of the gray area to do that. Now, in a minute, we're going to add something to this. So I'm going to move this off to the left a little bit. I'm now on figure 6. I'm going down to figure 620. I'm going to add a new text box here, and this is going to be where you might see text box 11 or whatever yours is. I'm going to change that to the same name, so I'm double clicking in there. And then in this box here, I'm going to add an expression. The expression's at the top of page 351, near figure 6-23. And this expression is going to say equals inside of square brackets first name. Case is not sensitive, so don't worry about getting your case. Spelling is, however, important in spacing. So first space name, ampersand sign, space, single quotes. And what this will do, it will add the field's first name and last name with a space between them. The ampersand is a way to connect these together. Concatenate is the correct term. And I want to save this and make sure it works. I like to check it every step of the way. There's Melina Perez, and let's go down, scroll down and see other people. Robert Chin. Okay, so that part did work, which was great. Okay, I'm going to bring us back up in Design View again. Oh. Just want to mention that my ribbon up here became quote-unquote collapsed. To show you how to fix that, if it happens to you, if you right-click, you can uncollapse your ribbon. Sometimes you maybe want to collapse your ribbon so everything's not cluttering the screen. But for that case, that's what happened. I'm going to add, underneath current due, I'm going to add another text box. And this text box is going to say total amount. Now I'm on figure 6-2425. So this is amount due, or total amount. And the expression that will go in the box here is found at the top of page 352. It's equal against capitalization is not important, but spelling is. Amount paid, square brackets, plus current due. And that will pull those two fields, add them together. Check it. Now notice that this is not set as currency, so I need to do that. A couple ways you can set this as currency. Open back up in Design View. If you click on it, for me the easiest way is to go under Format and click on the currency button. You can also change the property over here to reflect that. Next thing they want us to do, this is kind of interesting, I'm on figure 6-28, is they want us to select all of the items as shown in figure 28. I'm holding down my shift key and clicking on those. Now if I go under the arrange button, under size and space, I'm going to group those. And what grouping does is it means if I move one, it moves them all now, which is kind of a nice nice little luxury. I'm going to widen my screen just a little bit to show you the next thing. With them grouped now, what I can do is I can actually grab hold of one and actually widen all of them, which is kind of nice. Same thing as with them grouped now. I can go under Format and I can make these bold. So you can do a number of things, and they suggest you do those. Last thing I'm going to do in this section, I'm going to give me a little bit of room at the bottom here. Matter of fact, I should have turned this off. It's not important. I can turn my group and sort off. I need a little bit of room down here at the bottom, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a subreport. And the subreport will actually be described more in detail in the next part. But under my design area, I'm going to click on this subreport, add that, go to next, and I'm just following the steps in the book, figure 6-38. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the query called Seminar Offerings and Seminars, which we made. All the fields go in there. Go to next, next, and they want us to call this Seminar Offerings by Customer. You'll see where that appears. By customer. Hit finish, and that will create a subreport. Now you may need to widen some things and move some things around, but the Seminar Offerings by Customer name will appear right at the top. I'm going to close this, save it, I'm going to open up and view it. And again, we will work in the later section on how to clean this up and make it look a little bit better.